Let's normalize not villainizing women for wanting to live by themselves in a society that has raised them to not only fear men, but to serve men. Why is it that little girls in homes all across the world are taught to not wear clothes that are too short around their family members? Why are girls sent home from school for showing off their shoulders or making it too hard for boys to focus? And then in the same breath, wanting them to aspire to be married, aspire to be mothers. God forbid, by the time I'm old enough that I have not only the choice, but the independence and the resources to choose to be able to be free in my own home, that I don't want to share that with a man, or I don't want to spend that in servitude of a man. It is okay to want to live your life independently. Don't let anybody tell you that there's something wrong with you, or that you're selfish, or that, you should be aspiring to things like marriage and motherhood if that's not what you truly want, or that's not what you want in this period of time. You are allowed to make your own choices. You're allowed to change your mind, and you should do whatever makes you happy. And if that means living in a cute little pink apartment where the toilet seat will always be down and eating like a rabbit because you don't feel like cooking, that's the life that you deserve to have, okay? If nobody else gets it and nobody else sees you, know that I see you. There are lots of women who feel the same exact way.
The greatest investment you can make in yourself as a woman is start living by yourself. You will learn so much about yourself by living alone. Not with your parents, not with the roommate, not with your boyfriend or husband. You have to experience life by yourself. If you have an opportunity, if it's not too late, start living by yourself. I know it's not cheap. I know it's an investment, but it's an investment into knowing yourself, into finding out what you like, what you don't like, how you like the space to look like, how you like to organize things, how you like to spend your alone time, because only by spending that quality time by yourself, you'll be able to find authentic parts of you that you would never be able to find in a relationship or living with anyone else. I was lucky enough that I got to experience living alone before I got married. And I think that's the experience that really helped me understand myself and what I want from life, from myself, not just from relationships, but what I want from myself. What talents do I have? What desires do I have? And it's something that I will cherish forever because I had that experience. So if you have an opportunity, do that for yourself and see it as an investment, not as an expense, because you are worth investing in.
Let me tell you something nobody explains properly when you're younger. Living alone doesn't just change your address, it changes your identity.
Don't listen to the haters. Living alone is one of the best things of all time. I remember my mom used to say, "Aren't you lonely living alone?" It's quite the opposite. Like, nothing does it justice. And so many people will tell you, like, you're not going to want to be by yourself, or it's going to be sad and all this other stuff. But it isn't. It's amazing. And I want to say there are cons to living alone, but the pros far outweigh the cons. And it don't even matter. It don't even got to be like a penthouse or a luxury apartment. It could be just anything that's your own space. Every bit of it is worth it. You cannot tell me otherwise.
You should live alone. I have lived in this apartment completely by myself for 4 years, and it has been the best experience I have ever given myself. I think that everyone can benefit from living alone at some point in their life. You have to take 100% accountability for your life when you live alone. If there's a mess, then you clean it. No groceries, you buy them. Bills are due, you pay them. Something breaks, you fix it. Everything is your responsibility, and you learn how to do all of these things when you live alone. You also learn so much about yourself. You decorate how you like, you stock your fridge with the foods that you like, you watch the shows that you like. You really have to pick all of the things that you like because no one else is there to choose it for you. It's also just so fun. You get to do whatever you want. I can wake up at 6 a.m. and turn on all the lights. I can listen to a podcast or a guided meditation out loud. No one is bothered. I can leave dishes in the sink if I'm in a rush, and it doesn't affect anybody. If I clean my apartment and I leave, I come back and it's exactly how I left it. When I first moved into this apartment, I was so nervous. I felt anxious at times. I was lonely. And now I'm so much more confident. Like, I actually enjoy being alone. I can't even believe I'm saying that because before I did not feel like that at all. So if you're considering living alone, you should absolutely do it. I have become so much more confident, and you just learn so much about yourself.
When you start living alone for a long time, for a while, it will be no point to have a man in your home because you start thinking back on how loud they are, how just inconsiderate they are. Like, why do men come in just loud? Why do you want everyone to know that it's you that is arriving? Why do you have to walk in the house with your shoes on? You don't think about, hey, let me take my shoes off because I don't want to dirty up the floor. No. Why do you come in just talking? Why can't you just come in quietly? Why do you have to walk in saying you're hungry or man, I had a long day? Who cares?
Because when you live alone, there's no audience, no backup, no one to split responsibility with, no one to blame when things fall apart, and surprisingly, no one to dilute your peace when things finally come together. It's just you. And at first, that can feel terrifying. The silence is louder than expected. The nights feel longer. You hear every little sound, and suddenly your imagination becomes a full-time employee.
Cares? Why do men feel the need to just burp constantly and don't say excuse me? Why do men believe they can just fart and think their fart smells like roses when their body is complete shit? It smells like death. I don't understand why men think they're so grand. Nothing grand about their entrance, baby. That's why I don't understand the point of having them in your home unless you want them to work, whatever you need done in the home. Even then, you need to sage that bitch. You don't want any scent, smell, energy inside your home as a woman. You don't. The only scent you need is yours. The only energy you need is yours. Now, if you have sons, that's different. It's a different thing. It's not the same than having a grown-ass man in your home. It's not the same. A grown-ass man is like a bed bug that don't want to leave.
One thing I've noticed about myself as I've become even more independent and strayed further away from the idea that I need to marry a man is that I've become so domesticated for myself, like domesticated in the best way possible. Like, I am such a caretaker and a homemaker now. Like, I love cleaning my apartment. I love baking stuff. I love just like making sure that everything's in its place. I like just like doing things at home now, living by myself. Like, yeah, I love all of this stuff. And entertaining, having my friends over. Like, I live for that. Oh my gosh, any excuse to put together like a snack board and like have a little movie night. Let me like dim the lights, get some cozy blankies out. We'll have a night, get the red wine out. I love just like having people I love in my space and like, yeah, like cooking and baking and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I never enjoyed this before when I lived with a man or was dating a man. Like, I love being domestic for me.
I'm 30 years old. I live by myself. I can pay my own bills. I can take myself on trips and do leisurely things on my own. What a privilege it is to be a woman of this generation. To be a woman does not mean I need to be a wife. To be a woman does not mean I need to be a mother. To be a woman does not mean I need to serve a man. Like, to be a woman is just to be me.
You start wondering, did I make a mistake? Should I have stayed where it was comfortable? But then something strange happens. You start figuring things out. You learn how to assemble furniture with nothing but determination, confusion, and one YouTube tutorial that skips the important part. You learn how to pay bills on time, stock your fridge like a responsible adult, and fix problems instead of waiting for someone else to handle them.
Most women that are living alone are doing it because they want to. Women living alone are not what you see in a Bridget Jones film. We haven't been left on the shelf. We aren't behind in life. We choose this life. We love our own company. We like to not have to answer to anybody. We like not having the responsibility of anybody. We like our own space. And I think there's been such a shift in what women are deciding to do when they are old enough and wise enough to think, right, do you know what? My goal in life is not to get married, not to have children. We don't need pity. We don't need you to feel sorry for us. There's nothing to feel sorry for. We actually love our lives, just to let you know.
I'm 31 years old. I turned 32 in 2 weeks, which is insane. But if I were to talk to the 20-year-olds or myself when I was 20 something, I would say you have to live alone. Now, full transparency, I'm sitting in my first solo apartment that I moved into just last year at 31. I've lived with partners, I've lived with friends, I've lived with family, but this is the first time that I've had my own space. And I would hear people talk about it all the time when I was in my 20s. Like, you have to live alone, you have to live alone. And to me, it didn't feel any different than living with friends or living with a partner, but I can guarantee you it is. When you have a space that's your own and you're the only one responsible for paying all of your bills, you get really intentional about how you make your house a home. You care about things like where your items go, how your house smells, the kind of energy your living room gives off, what your bathroom feels like. All of that matters to you. And the reason why I think it's so important in your 20s or 30s to live alone is because that's typically the last time that most of us will do it. We become partnered, we have children, your family may even end up living with you. Life circumstances take you a million places as you continue to journey through this crazy world. But in your 20s, in your 30s, if you have the privilege and the opportunity to have your own space, to be able to afford your own bills, to be able to decide on a Friday night at 11:30 p.m. I'm gonna have a dance party and I'm gonna make sure when people walk into my space it feels like me, and I'm gonna curate energy that makes me feel creative and safe and hugged by my own self. I highly recommend you do that, girls. We typically don't get this opportunity again. We will spend the rest of our lives making a house, a home for other people. This is the time that I think you should do it for yourself.
The fact that I do not struggle financially, the fact that I have a cleaner, and right now, as you know, I'm living in New York, so I haven't found the right cleaner yet, but I've had cleaners for years. I get meal prep, that's a standard now. I have anything I can get delivered, gets delivered. I don't carry things unnecessarily. I fly business class when I travel. If it's a domestic flight within the US, I go first class because they're smaller planes, nice and easy. I buy what I want. I look at things in the shop. Yes, my brain processes the price, but I don't worry about the price. This has taken specific work that I've done on my nervous system and my subconscious beliefs. I've also made sure that anybody in my physical world who's not on board with that, I just do not interact with very much. When it comes to social media, I am very strict on the content that I consume. Very strict on the content that I consume. And it's one of the reasons why I've started the Unpunishable community, because I was seeing too many women, particularly single women, just bemoaning being single and complaining. Always talking about the mishaps of dating, what's wrong with the dating world, what's wrong with men, the fact that they hope to be in a relationship one day, but right now they will settle for being single. It's last resort. It will do kind of, energy. Look, I am not dismissing the very human and natural desire for companionship. If you've watched any of my videos, I know that's a thing. And I come from a religion in my past where that was the status quo. Most of the women wanted to get married, period. And so, but what I am saying is this. What I've realized over the years is that you have to curate your environment, your internal environment and your external environment. Anyone and anything that is disrupting the signal, that is...
You stop outsourcing your survival, and in that process, you meet yourself. Not the version of you that exists in relationships, not the version shaped by family expectations, not the version that compromises to keep the peace. The real you. You discover your natural rhythms. Maybe you're someone who thrives early in the morning, or maybe your best ideas come at midnight while eating cereal in complete silence. There's no judgment, no negotiation. Your life becomes honest. Your space becomes honest. You realize you don't actually like certain things. You just tolerated them. You don't actually need constant noise. You don't actually need someone there to validate your existence.
Scrambling the frequency. When you turn a radio on, I don't know if people do that anymore, but when you turn a radio, you've got to turn the dial until you can hear the station clearly. And in the middle of that, there's all that crackling. right? You've got to find your station. And here's the thing, being a single woman in this day and age who is rooted, regulated, and resourced, those three things, the trifecta that can make a single woman's life joyful and easy, right? It's a bit like a pirate radio station. I'm finding a pirate radio station. And for those of you who are probably maybe too young or you're not from the UK, pirate radio stations are stations that were like local radio stations set up by people. They were illegal, but you'd have to know where to find it on the dial. You'd have to be within a certain area as well to be able to pick up on that radio station. All right, you had to know the station existed. You had to know how to find the station. You needed to be within the zone of that station. The kind of single life that I live, sovereign singleness, is like that. You've got to tune into the frequency. You've got to tune into the frequency, and you've got to stay there. You've got to stay there until that frequency is strong, until you can self-sustain and hold it yourself. Because a lot of the time, you cannot rely on your external environment to mirror that back to you. If this is a new circumstance for you, you might not have it yet internally by yourself. You might not have it yet within yourself. So you have to do some really strong hygiene on your external environment and on this online environment. Because most of what you're going to find and see out there is going to, one, as I say, be coming from a place of scarcity and lack. It's going to be you shrinking yourself, your desires, your lifestyle, your standard of living, your quality of life, because the idea is, the narrative is that single women deserve less. So you've got to tune in to the frequency, deliberately, intentionally. You've got to stay there. You've got to stay there until you are rooted, regulated, and resourced. It's really important to do that.
Here are 21 things that I love about being single and living alone. Number 1, I don't walk on eggshells in my own space. Number 2, I am not an unpaid live-in maid, sex doll, and therapist anymore. Number 3, no snoring, ever. Number 4, the only emotions that I have to manage are my own. Number 5, I no longer fall into the toilet in the middle of the night. Number 6, I never have to repeat myself. Number 7, I can go to bed whenever I want with no judgment. Number 8, I never have to ask for permission to spend money. Number 9, I am never asked, what's for dinner? Number 10, I have the whole bed, the whole bathroom vanity, and the whole closet to myself. Number 11, I no longer have to wait months for things to be fixed. Number 12, there's no more dirty socks on the floor right next to the hamper. Number 13, I watch whatever I want when I want. Number 14, peace and quiet. Number 15, my food no longer magically disappears. Number 16, I cook and eat exactly what I want. Number 17, I control the thermostat and the lighting. Number 18, no unsolicited criticism or touch. Number 19, no 8-hour football marathons and then a post-loss tantrum. Number 20, I'm not disappointed on my birthday or holidays anymore. And 21, I decorate exactly as I want. Add yours in the comments.
Because peace is validation, and confidence grows differently when there's nobody watching. It grows quietly. Every time you solve a problem alone, your self-trust increases. Every bill you pay, every decision you make, every small act of responsibility becomes evidence that you can handle your life. And once you know that, everything changes. You stop chasing situations out of fear. You stop keeping people around just to avoid being alone. You stop accepting chaos disguised as companionship. Because you've experienced the alternative. You've experienced waking up in a space where everything reflects you, your choices, your energy, your standards. And suddenly, loneliness isn't the threat anymore. Losing your peace is. Living alone teaches you one of the most important lessons you'll ever learn. You are not incomplete. You were never incomplete. You were just never given the space to see yourself clearly. Solitude removes the noise, and when the noise is gone, you finally hear your own voice. And once you hear it, you don't forget it.